Welcome to the deep dive. Trying to stay informed these days, it can feel like, well, a bit much.
It really can. Information overload is real.
Exactly. So that's what we do here, try to cut through some of that noise. And today we've got some really fascinating sources pointing towards a very clever use of technology.
Yeah, this one's quite unique. We're looking at how AI and drones are being used together.
Right, specifically to help protect the frankincense forests in Oman, which are incredibly important.
Absolutely. And maybe to sort of set the scene for you, picture the sun-soaked hills of Dhofar in Oman.
Okay.
This is the ancient homeland of the Lubin tree that's Boswellia sacra, the source of frankincense.
Just the name itself, frankincense.
It sounds ancient.
It really does. And this resin, it's not just, a nice smell. It's literally shaped civilizations. It's been used in healing for thousands of years, sent to the corridors of empires. It's huge.
Wow, that's some serious history packed into a tree resin.
It is. But the thing is, this iconic tree, so tied to Oman's identity, is facing real threats now. Like what specifically?
Well, the usual suspects, unfortunately. Climate change impacts, definitely. But also over-harvesting, unsustainable practices, and shifts in how land is being used.
So this piece of living heritage is genuinely at risk.
It is, and that's where, the tech comes in, according to our sources.
Right, the AI and drones.
Exactly. And the key figure here seems to be Dr. Qamar ul-Islam. He's an expert in AI and robotics at Dhofar University.
Okay.
And he's the principal investigator for this big project. It's called Sustainable Growth Inspection and Preservation of Frankincense Trees in Dhofar region. Quite a mouthful, but a clear mission.
Sustainable growth, inspection, preservation. Got it. And this isn't just a small academic exercise, is it? I saw a mention of funding.
No, not at all. It's got significant backing OMR 17,400 from the Ministry of Agricultural Wealth, Fisheries, and Water Resources.
Oh, so serious government support.
Yeah, under their SRPP initiative. And what's really interesting, I think, is the approach. It's not just about the gadgets. It seems to be a real blend. You've got the drone tech, the AI, but also integrating traditional ecological knowledge from local communities and doing it all with a clear respect for Omani heritage.
That sounds like a really smart way to go about it. Technology with tradition, not replacing it.
Exactly. So that's our mission for this deep dive, really, to unpack how this AI and drone combination is actually working on the ground.
And what the bigger implications might be, right, for conservation in general.
Precisely. What can we learn from this?
Okay, let's dig in. First off, why are these frankincense trees so important? We mentioned the history, the scent, but what else?
Well, the sources really stress that the Lubin tree is, and I quote, more than just a plant. It's called a living heritage of Oman.
Living heritage, I like that.
And think about that trade history. 5,000 years. This wasn't just some nice-to-have luxury. It was vital. Medicine, perfumes, religious rituals across so many cultures. A global commodity, really, even back then.
5 millennia. It's kind of staggering to think about. And their role isn't just historical, is it? They're important now. Oh, absolutely. Ecologically, they're crucial. In that tough landscape, they help hold the soil together. They support a whole web of other life, biodiversity. And really importantly, for the people living there, they are the bedrock of rural livelihoods. Generations have depended on them.
So it's ecology, economy, culture, all tied up in these trees.
Exactly. They're a keystone species in many ways. And like we said, this whole interconnected system, it's under threat.
Right. Okay, so bring in the tech. How are the AI and drones actually helping? What are they doing, flying around out there?
So the term used is AI-integrated drone surveillance, which sounds fancy, but the goal is practical.
Okay.
They're using drones to create what they call a high-resolution data-rich profile of where these trees live.
Like a super detailed map.
Sort of, yeah, but much more than just a map. It includes data on tree health, density, the surrounding environment, building a really comprehensive digital picture of the habitat. So instead of people having to hike everywhere, count trees, check leaves, the drone does the first pass. That sounds way more efficient.
It is much more efficient for covering large, difficult areas.
Yeah.
And the data isn't just for mapping.
No.
They use it predictively to anticipate where problems might pop up, like disease outbreaks or areas under stress, to track growth patterns, and, crucially, to guide conservation actions in almost real time.
Ah, so it's like an early warning system for the forest.
That's a great way to put it, a digital early warning system, moving from being reactive to proactive.
Okay, tell me about the drones themselves. What kind of tech are they carrying to get all this info?
They're fitted with some pretty sophisticated sensors. Multispectral and thermal sensors are mentioned specifically.
Multispectral. What does that see?
It sees light beyond what our eyes can see, different wavelengths. This lets them analyze things like chlorophyll content in the leaves.
Which tells you how healthy the plant is.
Exactly. It's a key indicator of plant health. And then thermal imaging. Well, that detects heat differences.
So it could spot if a tree is maybe too dry under water stress.
Precisely. Or even pick up early signs of disease that might cause temperature changes before you'd see anything wrong visually.
Yeah.
These drones can map huge areas of that rugged landscape autonomously, gathering all this incredibly detailed data.
And that's where the AI steps in, I assume,
Yeah.
to process all that data.
You got it. The AI is like the brain of the operation. It takes all that imagery and sensor data from the drones and analyzes it.
What can it figure out?
It can assess if an area is actually suitable for the trees to grow well. It can detect those stress signals we talked about, disease, water issues. And it can even make predictions about future changes.
Based on what?
Things like patterns of soil degradation or modeling how variations in climate might impact specific areas. It turns all that raw visual data into actual insights conservationists can use.
That sounds incredibly powerful. But how do they make sure the AI isn't just, misreading the images from way up high? Is it always accurate?
That's a really crucial question, and the project has an answer. Field validation ground truthing.
Ground truthing. Meaning
People actually go out into the field, on the ground, to check what the drones and AI are reporting. They verify the findings.
Okay. So humans double-checking the machines.
Exactly. It's vital for ensuring accuracy. It combines that high-tech aerial intelligence with essential human insight. It shows that this isn't just about replacing people with tech.
It's about collaboration. Tech providing data, humans providing context and verification.
Precisely. A partnership. And speaking of human insight, the involvement of the local communities, the harvesters, seems really central to this project.
Yeah, tell me about that. How are they involved?
This seems really well thought out. They're not just, subjects being studied. They're active partners
How so?
through workshops and outreach programs. These harvesters have, as the sources say, traditional knowledge passed down through generations. They know these trees and this land intimately.
So the project taps into that expertise.
Absolutely. They're training them in sustainable harvesting techniques, which is critical, but it's a two-way street. The drone data actually helps the harvesters. It can show them which areas have healthier trees, potentially reducing pressure on stressed areas, and maybe even helping them get a better yield sustainably.
So the tech supports their traditional work, makes it more targeted. That's clever.
It really is. It empowers them with new tools that complement their existing skills rather than undermining them.
That avoids a lot of potential conflict you sometimes see with these kinds of projects.
Definitely. And it goes further, it's creating jobs too.
Oh, in what?
Things like drone piloting, data analysis, helping with the conservation planning itself. This ties directly into Oman's broader goals, their Vision 2040.
How does it connect?
It links technological empowerment with economic diversification. So it's building skills, creating opportunities within the community, grounded in protecting their own natural heritage.
That's a really positive feedback loop. Okay, so we see the benefits for the local communities. What about the bigger picture? The economic and environmental impacts?
Well, short-term economically, the idea is better efficiency. Less waste, smarter use of resources because the harvesting is more informed.
Makes sense. Less guesswork.
Exactly. But the long-term vision is pretty ambitious. They're aiming for a fully sustainable supply chain for Omani frankincense.
Which could do what? Increase its value?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Boost its value globally by guaranteeing its sustainability and quality. The hope is for Oman to become a world leader in ethically harvested, scientifically managed Luban products.
Wow, that's a big goal. And environmentally, beyond just helping the trees survive day to day.
The main goal is preserving this keystone species. Protecting the frankincense tree helps protect the whole ecosystem it supports.
Right.
Plus, those predictive models the AI generates, they can directly inform policy
Oh.
by helping planners design better protected zones, for example, or providing data to back up new environmental legislation. It's about using science to make smarter conservation rules.
So the data feeds back into management and policy. It's not just an academic exercise.
Definitely not. And they are planning to share this knowledge widely.
How are they doing that? Publications.
Yep. The aim is to publish in peer-reviewed journals across different fields: environmental science, AI and conservation, drone tech, sharing the methods, the results.
So other people can learn from it, maybe adapt it elsewhere.
Exactly. Validation and dissemination. They also mentioned exploring patents
Patents? For what?
for their specific AI-based habitat suitability algorithms, the unique way their AI analyzes the landscape.
Interesting. Could that potentially fund more conservation?
That seems to be the idea, yes.
Yeah.
But the main emphasis really does seem to be on sharing. They want to build an open knowledge base.
Open knowledge.
Yeah, making their findings and methods accessible to support future research, not just in Oman, but maybe across the Gulf region or anywhere facing similar challenges.
That's great. So this whole ambitious project, what's the time frame? How long does all this take?
It's actually quite focused. The sources outline a 12-month timeline.
A year? That seems fast for all this.
It does, but it's broken down logically. Months 1 to 3 are about getting set up. Team formation, those crucial community workshops, buying and preparing the drone systems.
Okay, the foundational stuff. Then what?
Months 4 to 6 are for pilot studies, testing the drones in the field, starting to build and tweak the AI models, sort of like the research and development phase.
Right. Making sure the tech works as planned.
Exactly. Then, months 7 to 9, they scale up. Full-scale mapping of the forest areas with the drones, and at the same time, ramping up the community training so people can use the data.
Implementing it across the board.
Yeah.
And the final stretch.
Months 10, 12, that's focused on deep data analysis, writing it all up in reports and getting those publications ready for the journals.
And the budget covers everything. Staff, drones, software.
Yes, the OMR 17,400 covers research assistance, drone procurement, software tools, the whole package for that year.
It really does sound like what the sources called it, a multidisciplinary masterpiece.
Yeah, that description feels quite apt. You've got the technology, the cultural heritage, the community engagement, the conservation science, all interwoven.
It's genuinely inspiring to see that kind of integrated approach.
It really is. A powerful example, I think, of how we can use innovation thoughtfully to protect these incredibly valuable natural resources.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's really striking, isn't it? This blend of cutting-edge tech AI, drones working side by side with that deep traditional knowledge.
Yeah, protecting something truly precious. It's a potent combination.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Following Dr. Kumar's lead here, how could our own interests, maybe even seemingly unrelated skills or curiosities, play a part in tackling these big environmental challenges?
That's a great takeaway thought. It's about embracing that innovation, yes, but also deeply respecting tradition and local wisdom. Finding solutions that aren't just clever.
But wise.
Exactly. Solutions that are truly wise.